Hello, Drunvalo.
Hello, Lilu.
Exciting to be speaking with you again. Oh my goodness.
It's really good to be speaking with you again, too. I see you're doing great in the world, and I'm really happy for you.
Well, thank you so much. And I just came back actually from Mexico, from Yucatan. And so this conversation is absolutely perfect with all the
Okay.
elders and the ancestors I was meeting. And intuitively, I do feel like a lot of people all around the world that this is a new, new earth, a new humanity. Over there, we spoke of Mayan consciousness. You speak of this new level of humanity coming in or entering. You're going to tell us more about that. But I'm thrilled because it feels right to connect with our ancestors. It feels right to connect with our origins and to learn from them. And I would love to start this conversation because, of course, we're going to speak of your latest book, which is The Following of the Serpent of Light, a bestseller. And this one is called the Mayan Ouroboros. I have here the French version, and I was thrilled to read it, especially with everything that I heard over there in Yucatan, in Mexico. So thank you, Drunvalo, for being available to have this conversation right now. What a perfect timing.
Oh, you're welcome. I want to be here. This is great.
Awesome. So, of course, everybody has heard of the 21st of December and all of that, and I know we're going to speak of the positive side of the Mayan prophecy. But most importantly, this new cycle, this new consciousness, and I would love to start with the ancestors, because you see the ancestors as really bridging and bringing in the information. Actually, we're quite not retarded, but we're a little bit behind of time, aren't we, compared to these people that maybe walk in the dust, but actually have a lot of knowledge to share with us.
It isn't actually that we're behind them. On one level, we're ahead of them. We've taken a different DNA, and we've headed in another direction. And in my work with the sacred geometry, you can actually see what we've done. The ancestors, when you look at the consciousness, sacred geometry around consciousness, you can actually see in the geometry the various stages of consciousness, the ones we're in now and the ones way into the future. You can actually look at them and see what they're like. And so the very first one, when we come into human consciousness, that's the one that Leonardo da Vinci created. He didn't create it. It was coming from his mentor Vitruvius, who was much older, and so they knew about this also. They had worked out the same things that I had eventually found redoing the same things all over again, and so we are. And that first level is. It's all about being close to the golden mean. Whenever the golden mean happens, that's when life appears. And so, and this is all about the circle and the square. And when the square, the perimeter of the square and the circumference of the circle are equal, that is the golden mean. And so that as they keep going out and expanding out, the circle and the squares meet every once in a while, and you measure them, and one is a little bit under, and then the next time they'll be a little bit over, but they keep getting closer and closer to this golden mean. The first one, the Aboriginals in Australia, and the Waitaha, and the Kogi, and the Arawakos, and these kinds of indigenous people, they are of the first level. And the reason that they've been here for so long is because they are in tune with nature. They are almost perfectly in tune with the golden mean. Then when you come to our level, which is they're an 8 by 10. It's hard to explain that, but we're a 10 by 12. And in the 10 by 12 that comes out of Vitruvius's drawing, we are close to the golden mean, but not as close as they are. We are actually farther away. And because we're farther away, we're not in tune with nature. We are like a stepping stone. Yeah, like if you take a river, in the middle of a river, and you put a stone in the middle of the river, and one side is the harmonic in nature, that's the ancestors, and then where we're going, whether you call it Christ consciousness or unity consciousness, whatever, this next level of consciousness, that one's even closer to the golden mean. But we are in the middle, and we're not. And so we contain the ancient ones, and our geometries contain them, and they contain us. We're linked together. But we are really outside of nature, and we're supposed to step on that stepping stone and jump to the other side as soon as possible, because if we stay there, we will kill anything we're on. We'll kill this whole planet. We're not in tune with nature. We don't even care about nature. We don't have it in us. We're not there. And so that's what's going on. We're in an in-between stage of consciousness that goes up.
But they're saying it's a good thing, because technology, when technology is that advanced technology as we have it, that means that the next level is actually the right one, no? Isn't that what the Mayan are saying?
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the technology is an outcome of our level of consciousness. We're going to throw it all away really soon. We're going to take every single tiny bit of our technology and throw it in the garbage can, because we're going to realize when we get to the other side that we can do all that stuff without technology. Mm-hmm. We can do it from within our hearts, within our own selves, and we don't need anything like that anymore. And so the whole package of humankind right now is simply a temporary stage. And that's all it is. And if you understand that, then you understand why all the problems that are going on in the world, and the wars and all the craziness and everything else. Because we don't care. We're not there. We're not in tune with nature at all. But this process is absolutely required. You have to go from this stage, the ancestral stage, to us, to the next stage. You can't get there going straight from the ancestral stage to the next level. There's no way. You have to pass through this crazy place. But at the same time, the ancestors can't get there without us. They need us. They need to combine us with them, and we can't get there without them. We have to combine what their understandings with us, and when we both come together, at that moment, that's when we have the knowledge that allows us to make this jump to the other side, and they come with us. Not only us, but and not only the living ancestors, but the people that we can recognize, the Kogi, etc. But these millions and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of other beings that are the ancestors that have died a long time ago, but they're still alive. And they're just waiting for us to make this transition so that they too can make this transition.
So part of making this transition is breaking that silence. Since the 22nd of December 2012, this new cycle starting, the Mayans really want to reveal some things. What are those things that you found out? Because you did so many trips, you have such an understanding. That please tell us, what are they revealing now that we don't know?
Well, the second part of their prophecy has never really been explained to the world. They only talked about the first part, and that goes to they see it all through the Mayan long count, which is a 5,125 year approximately cycle, and 5 of those cycles make up the precession of the equinox, which is 25,625 years. That's the actual time of it, approximately. And so when you look at it in the precession, it's easier to see it in the precession. There you've got a 25,625 year cycle. You cut it in half, and half of that is the dark side of the cycle, and that's when the males come in and they protect life, they protect humanity during that time. And they did a great job. They made it through. We've made all kinds of mistakes. We ran into walls at high speed. We did all kinds of things, and it's amazing we're alive, but we did it. We got here. And in the last 2,000 years, that male protection has become very convoluted and self-serving. And this always happens. It's not that they did anything wrong. It's just that after a certain length of time, it needs help. And in this case, the polarity shifts on December 22nd from male to female. And so we are now in a female cycle, and she's just beginning to get into place where she remembers who she is and the power that she has inside of her, which is just incredible. It's absolutely awesome. Females kind of think that they're just, just because of the way the men have dominated everything for so long, who they really are has not been allowed to really emerge. But the female side is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it is what is going to save humanity. It's not going to be the male saved humanity to this point. Now we're in that point where we have to leap in the middle of the river, and it will be the females and the children too, both of them together, that will bring us to this place where we are able to make this incredible leap to another level of consciousness. And this is exciting. I mean, it really is. I mean, this. Sure, we look into the world and it's just a complete mess everywhere, and how are we going to possibly survive? But if you really understand the nature of the universe, we not only will survive, we're going to thrive. We're going to go on beyond this and be all these. This is going to be kind of like a bad dream at one point. We're going to remember it. We're going to remember who we were and what happened, but we're also going to know we're never going to do this again. And we're going to know how to get out of here.
Yeah, you know about this. You're saying in your book that this is really the second time you're on this earth, and we have, most of us, been coming back here thousands of times.
Yeah, thousands of times.
So you have already this. Do you feel that you have this balance, masculine, feminine, or it's not even the question anymore?
I've only had one female life. I'm just completing my second male life. In the Egyptian terms, you're not human until you've had 9 lives. Because on the first 8 lives are on the tetrahedrons that are around your body that make up the Merkaba. There's 8 points, and there's 8 different ways that they can face, and they create 8 different personalities over 8 different lifetimes. And once you've made those 8 personalities, then on the 9th lifetime, you are now a human being. And I'm not there yet. I'm not quite human. I'm learning how to be, and I'm doing the best I can. I made a lot of mistakes. On my first time, I made so many mistakes, it was crazy. And I'm trying to correct those mistakes now and understand things.
Because it must not always be easy, especially with the amount of people that are watching your videos and receiving your information and everything shifting and changing. You must receive also quite a lot of turbulences, and it must be not always that easy, especially with this end of this cycle and now this new one.
Oh, there's been a lot of, but I knew when I came here what I was getting into. It isn't as though I'm surprised or anything. I knew that this is a very difficult time for any race on a planet that is going through this. This is a difficult step. And we're going to come to another difficult step where there's 5 levels we have to reach before we can go on from body forms. And so here we are with 5 of them. Well, we're on the second one right now. We're heading for the third one. But on the fourth one, we go into another disharmonic level that is required to make that leap again to get to this final one. And so we've got more time to go here before we're really complete. But
this is a lot of cycles of change, of going through some things, and so what is your recommendation right now to go ourselves through these changes? Because you speak a lot of heart-centeredness, and the Mayans speak a lot about that. There's so much information.
It's all about the heart. Well, not really all about the heart. It's about the heart and its connection to the brain. Right now, the heart and the brain are severed. It's something that happened about 13,000 years ago, and we are still trying to deal with it. And we do. We're in position now to solve that forever, and it will happen this year. We knew that. I knew this as far back as at least about in the early 70s. I knew that 2013 was the time when this change would take place. And so, everybody was so into 2012, and I was basically, no, it's not going to happen then. It's going to happen this year. This is more than likely. No, this is totally up to Mother Earth. It's not up to you or me or anybody else. This is up to her. And she will be the one that will make the decisions as to exactly when we make this jump in consciousness. And it has not occurred yet. We still have about almost 3 years before the end of the end of time cycle, a window that we're in. And so just because we're through December 21st and 22nd doesn't mean a thing. We haven't reached that point yet where the Mayan prophecy actually begins. It's beginning in the sense that we are in the window, and that's part of the prophecy. And it's beginning in the sense that they know that in this window is when humanity begins to make this extraordinary change within each person. Each one of us makes it inside of ourselves. This is not just, it is a planetary thing, but it's also a very individual the change. And we're not going to be human much longer. We are about to proceed into higher levels of interpreting the one reality. And when we get to that place, we're going to look back at the way we see things now and go, wow, that was like a dream. That wasn't even close. But we had to go through there. It isn't something that we just wanted to or something. We had to do this. We had to go through all these wars. We had to do all this stuff. It was terrible, but it was what we obviously had to do. We did it. You know, it's history now.
Mm-hmm. Because on your website recently, there is the new. You're talking of April and May as some defining dates in this ascension.
Yes, yes. The thing about 2013 is that even though I did discuss this as far back as in the late 90s, actually, that the date of February 18th and 19th was the time what the Mayans felt would be internal changes began to take place in the planet and in the sun and in the galaxy. That the process actually is beginning. It begins there, not in us. We are created from that. We are created from the earth and from the sun and from the galaxy, and we are direct representatives of that. And so
so we're receiving at the same time, then emitting.
Yes, we're receiving, and right now, from the center of the galaxy, there is a pulse that is going directly to our sun. And we're coming to the peak of solar cycle 24, and that the sun is sending out these huge magnetic pulses that go to our magnetic field and come inside of there and make changes within us, within our DNA. The outer, our mother and father, mommy Earth and daddy Sun, and our grandmother Earth and grandfather, center galaxy, they are making the changes within them that are making the changes within us. And so this is not a time to be afraid of the sun. You know, oh, it's going to X-ray,
solar flares, yeah.
All these things. You need to tune into it. You need to go into meditation when you feel these things and really link with it and see what it's doing to you. Feel the changes that are going inside of you, because these are positive effects that are changing us from human to something greater. And the more you're connected to it, and you can feel it, the better it is. When the solar flares are going on, I go outside and just hang out in the sun. And I know scientists are going, "You're crazy. You shouldn't be doing that." Well, I don't think so. I think that it is this direct connection to life that I want to be wide open with my eyes. I want to be there. I want to feel it. I want to be part of it. I don't want to hide from it.
And so this month, April, May 2013.
So there were a lot of things that have come up all at once, and they're all peaking right now. And the first one is that the Mayans say that this is when it's beginning, in February, and sometime after this, they expect, relatively this year, that was what they were expecting this to happen. They may be wrong, but that's what they expect. Well, take that into account, and then you take in what NASA is saying. And NASA has been saying for the last, since 2009, that these solar flares are more than likely going to reach a level that is going to trigger another Y2K beyond one that way beyond what would have happened in 2000, and it'll be triggered in 2013, and which is at the peak of the solar cycle 24, and when that hits, if what they are saying to us, and they're saying to the whole world, they've announced this everywhere, that this more than likely is going to shut down the internet, shut down all the grids, and close off all the electrical circuits for the entire world, and we're going to go into blackness. And shut down the financial systems, which also means all gasoline, oil, food, water, everything else, just gone. and they're saying that that will probably happen from anywhere from 1 month to 9 months. That's a pretty big disaster if that happens. And so I'm just simply saying, okay, our country, our United States of America says this probably is going to happen. So we should take that seriously. England, when they reviewed all of that information, they didn't believe it at first. They thought, no, this cannot be. And when they researched it over a 6-month period, they came back and said, okay, we agree with you. We are in a serious situation right now, and whatever we can do, we want to cooperate. Then Russia came in behind them and said, yes, that is the first one, but there's 7 more behind that that are even much bigger. And they came in and said what I believe really needs to be talked about. It isn't the catastrophes and the huge change that's going on. It's the internal changes within us we need to focus on. And
despite all of this happening, so it's related, but not really. We have to have our own revolution kind of going on.
We have to realize, okay, we are at this pinnacle point in time and history, and there are going to be changes, the likes of which, according to Russia, we cannot survive. They've stated this. They've stated this, and they've got over 50 of their major scientists behind them saying this is true. They said there's not one person who's going to survive what's going to go on over this year. That's what they're telling us. And survive meaning your physical body. But if you understand where this is leading, that we're just moving in, the body is simply an image inside of your consciousness. The earth is, everything is. And if you really begin to understand the nature of what's going on here, we are simply moving up to another level where we can perceive the one reality in a different way, from which everything is fine there. There's no problems. There's no war. Everybody cares about each other. It's a whole different level of existence, but you're still on Mother Earth. You're nowhere else. We're going from the 3rd dimension of Mother Earth to the 4th dimension of Mother Earth, from which we're going to heal all of our problems, solve every single one of our problems that we now have here. They won't exist anymore. And we're going to be one living human consciousness, all of us. We're going to be cells in a larger body. And from there, we have lots of help. And I mean lots of help. The whole universe is behind us at this point. We have over 300,000 ET cultures that are here, waiting for us on the 4th dimension to prepare us so that we can understand what's happening to us, and what's going on. And from there, we're about to make a journey that the world has never seen before. And this journey is something that minds do not understand. They've been explained it, but it's so far above even their consciousness that they really don't understand it. That's why they don't talk about it a lot. Is because it's not because it isn't fearful, it's beautiful, but it's so outrageous that it goes beyond. Human consciousness can hardly accept the Mayan prophecy on the other side. It's too just outrageous. What happens is that we begin to understand something about the universe that we don't know now, even though science is just beginning to kind of get that. They're beginning to understand that it doesn't exist in the way that we think it does. It exists inside of us, not external to us. And even our body is simply part of that extension. It is not really there. Everything is nothing but consciousness, period. That's all it is. And we have learned how to make really good holographic images. The universe is a hologram. It's a program created by us. And we're going to find out that we have zillions of other ones of these programs and other universes that are possible. We don't know this yet. We don't know any of these things. But we're going to be able to be free. We're no longer going to be quarantined onto the earth. We're going to be able to be anywhere at all, and be able to speak every language in existence, and be able to talk and communicate in ways that we don't even know is there anymore. We don't even know it exists. We're not going to be human any longer. We're going to be on another level of consciousness that many people here call Christ consciousness. And it is still just the beginning. It is not the end point.
How are you, what kind of information are you receiving from the IT? You know, remember we spoke of those light beings back then? Are you still doing plasma? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.